Well, I think the last part of that is pretty, I don't think I need to answer that. I think we feel pretty good about it. He pitched well. He had command to both sides of the plate, command of the secondary. He was in control. There was a lot of soft contact. He was doing what he wanted to do, missing bats, the no walk, and really competed well. It was good to see, and we needed that one.
Dave, you tend to stick with guys who have a track record, and Max didn't have much of a track record coming in, but when he had that slump in the summertime, you continue to stick with him and believe in him. Why?
Every hitter's going to go through, a time when they're not seeing the baseball well, and Max, it was probably about 2 weeks, but after that, before that, after that, he's been very good in the strike zone. He's had a tremendous season, and so for us, that's an easy one. You just got to kind of, at that point in time, I think we just gave him a couple days off, here and there to kind of clear his mind. But his just DNA to be able to stay in the strike zone, it's pretty special, pretty unique, and so yeah, to see him in this moment, not surprised.
I'll in the back right.
Dave, aside from just being healthy now with Hyun-Jin, is there a way that you kind of see him evolve where he's not just back to his previous form, but he's sort of even more effective?
Well, I think it's the health is the number one component, and even going into this past winter, he had a regular off season where he could prepare for a spring training, and he showed that when he started the season, he came out throwing well. And obviously the injury to the groin in the middle of the season, but working his way back, being in great shape, and he picked up where he left off. So we were counting on him this year, and he's done everything we'd hoped.
Yeah, Dave, you guys were so impressive in so many areas tonight. What kind of statement does this make about where you guys are at right now?
I mean, we've said it. We're playing really good baseball. All of September, I think we've kind of come together, and offensively, defensively, starting pitch in the pen. And this is when you want to play your best baseball. We have a lot of good players. We're healthy, and this is a very focused and determined group.
Center, third row.
Dave, through so much of September, you pretty much relied on platoon lineups and be able to swap guys out in mid-game. The last two games, game 163, tonight, you were able to sort of have a platoon lineup start the game, but you stuck with them throughout the entire game. What does it show that the offense was able to produce the way it does, even when you sort of left the original lineup in?
It says a lot about these guys. So yeah, we've got to get the other guys involved somehow. We're going to see 3 right-handers in a row, but to get David Freese in there tonight, to have that situation of bat, that was good to see. But yeah, we have guys on the bench that can hit righties, but I like our left-handed lineup. So the challenge is to get these guys involved, but I like where each position player is at, mentally right now, preparing for a game.
Final question, last row.
When you talk about Max's pitch recognition and discipline, how much of that is a gift? How much of that is preparation through video? And how much of it is just trust in the guys behind him in case something does happen?
I think it's a combination, but I think most of it probably is just his innate ability to recognize strike versus ball, and the value of not making it out. And it's not, we talk about not making outs, not trying to walk. We walked a good amount tonight, 8 times, I think. But just understanding the value of not making it out. I think that he understands that, and his ability to see the ball out of the hand is pretty special.
And then you pitched really well this season, but especially at Dodger Stadium. Is there anything about this ballpark or pitching at home that really sort of helps your stuff and helps you play up?
뭐 특별한 이유는 없는 것 같고 항상 홈에서 하다 보니까 응원해주는 팬들도 많고 일단은 뭐 초반부터 홈에서 좀 좋다 보니까 홈에서 계속 자신감 있게 경기에 임하다 보니까 홈에서 계속 좋은 성적 받는 것 같아요.
I can't think of a really good reason why I'm so good at the home stadium, but having the fans behind my back definitely helps. And leading the season strong, a couple games at home definitely made me build more confidence going into the future outings too.
Dylan, second or to left.
Hyun-Jin, your last postseason game was in 2014. Obviously, the year after, you had that pretty significant shoulder surgery. my understanding was the estimates of you being able to, get back to your previous level was 40 to 50% maybe. At that time, how confident were you that you would be back pitching in a game like this? And how difficult have the 3 years since then been, to try to get back to this point?
뭐 수술을 결정했을 때 당시에는 다행히 저희 마운드에서 다시 던진다는 생각으로 수술을 결정을 했었고, 그 이후에 힘든 재활 잘 이겨내면서 수술을 하고 나서부터 지금까지 계속해서 마운드에서 던진다는 생각만 가지고 계속 준비했는데 오늘의 결과가 나온 것 같아요.
When I decided to do the surgery back then, it was under the premise that I would get back to the mound almost as good as before. Definitely, the 3 years of process was tough, but tonight seems to be like the fruition of all that hard work that I put in.
We'll go to the back right, Alvin.
Mentioned Justin Turner was talking about how he felt like if you didn't get hurt this year, you might be kind of in the race for the Cy Young Award. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like maybe you've been pitching pretty much all year, like one of the best pitchers in baseball? Is that the kind of confidence you're carrying these days?
뭐 그런 얘기를 들은 것 자체만으로도 영광스럽게 생각하고, 일단은 뭐 결과적으로는 그렇게 하지는 못했고 또 부상도 당했기 때문에 그런 거는 전혀 신경 안 쓰는 것 같고, 그냥 매 경기 선발 투수가 할 수 있는 역할만 하려고 하다 보니까 지금까지 좋은 성적이 나와요.
I'm just happy that Justin said that, but unfortunately I wasn't able to stay healthy all year. But being part of that conversation is definitely fun. But for me, I just try to focus on each and every game, and I think it led to this point where I was able to put up a couple good outings.
Staying right there.
You talked about the nerves coming in. What were the nerves like for you entering this start, and then to get the 7th inning for your team to have faith to go out for a 7th, to go over the 100 pitch mark? What did that mean to you?
일단 오늘 처음 마운드 올라가서 초구부터 내려오기 전까지 전력 피칭한다고 얘기했었는데 오늘 일단 그거를 실천에 옮긴 것 같아서 너무 기분 좋고, 항상 선발 투수는 100개 이상 던진다는 생각으로 준비를 하고 있기 때문에 그 정도 수치는 전혀 문제 없는 것 같아서.
I'm happy that I was able to keep my promise that I would go full throttle from the get-go. As a starting pitcher, I always prepared the game as if I'm going to throw over 100 pitches, so that wasn't necessarily a problem. I'm just happy that I was able to do what I did today.
Last question here on the right.
그 포스트 시즌에서 7이닝 이상 무실점을 2회 이상 기록한 다저스 좌완 투수가 샌디 쿠펙스하고 제리 루이스하고 그 다음에 현지 세 번째거든요. 그런 전설적인 이름들하고 이렇게 나란히 언급되는 것에 대한 소감을 좀 알려주세요.
In the Dodger history, a pitcher to put up more than 2 postseason performances, going 7 innings, giving up no runs. There's Sandy Koufax and Jerry Royce, and you're the 3rd one. How do you think about that?
뭐 다행히 대단하신 분, 레전드랑 뷰 받는 것 자체만으로도 굉장히 선수 입장에서는 좋은 일이라고 생각하고, 모든 선수들도 다 같이 그렇게 경기하려고 준비할 것이고, 나도 항상 그렇게 하고 싶은 마음으로 준비하는데 당연히 선수로서는 기분 좋은 일이고 듣기 좋은 일인 것 같아요.
It's always nice to be compared to the Dodger legends like that. I don't really necessarily prepare the game to beat those kind of records, but I always try my best, and I just happen to be part of the group, very prestigious group, so I'm very happy as a player.
It's nice to stay in there. We have a team with a lot of depth, a lot of guys who can do a lot of special things, so managing that is not easy, and it takes us as individuals to kind of leave your ego at the door and just kind of do what's best for the team. And yeah, we all have one common goal of winning the World Series, and it's going to take all 25 of us, so that's not really an issue.
Yeah, like Jock said, we're all just here to win. At this point, I don't think any of us are upset or not happy about playing time or anything like that. We all know that it doesn't matter if you start, you can still get in the game. I think there's been a couple games where we haven't started and we've ended up getting more bats than some of the starters. So, yeah, it's just we're all here to win, and we're all going to do whatever it takes to do that.
In the front center.
Max, there was an 0 for 7 game in Philadelphia, and then after that, there was kind of a slide for about 20 games, and then picked it back up. What do you remember about that game in Philadelphia? How difficult were things during that slide, and how did you get back to what you were doing earlier in the season?
I don't remember much about that game. It's honestly, it's just baseball. There's not one person in this league, in the minor leagues, in college, that hasn't gone through a stretch like that. That's just the nature of the game, and you just got to figure out how to get through it. And the best way to get through that is just taking everything one day at a time. Each day you start off 0 for 0. You're not bringing things from the game before. It doesn't matter if you had 4 hits or no hits. Each day is a fresh day, and you get a new start.
Max, you constantly refer to this season for you as a dream season, and now here you find yourself as somewhat of a playoff star in this first game. Does this dream just keep getting bigger and bigger by the day for you?
Absolutely. Again, this is what everyone dreams of doing. You getting a big hit in a playoff game, and just more importantly, just being in the playoffs. You look at some of the pieces on this team that were brought in, and there's a lot of guys that haven't been in the postseason in 7-8 years, and there's some guys that have never been in the postseason. So it's not everyone gets a chance to do this. So this is why we play the game.
Last throw on the right.
Max, your plate discipline again was on display, and did you ever have any period at all on any level where you did chase a lot of pitches? And also, how much of that plate discipline did you learn in the Oakland organization?
I chase just as many pitches as everyone else. When you get to 2 strikes, you try to battle, and sometimes you come out on top, sometimes they come out on top. But as far as the discipline, that's just something I'd always had in my playing career, from college, high school, early stages in pro ball. That was just something that I'd always had.
4th row in the center.
Jock, it was your 8th leadoff home run this year. What's the feeling when you hit it in the playoffs, like the very first game, and you started off?
It's pretty special. The guy had plus stuff, and we were just trying to get him early, get some guys on base, and I got behind 0-2, and I was able to battle and put a ball in the barrel, but I definitely wasn't trying to do that, but it was really nice.
Right here.
Jock, I'm piggybacking off of her question. You set the franchise record for leadoff home runs this year with the Dodgers. Is there something different about your approach in that first at-bat of the game, knowing that I guess you could start off with a bang? I know you said you didn't mean to do it today, but in other approaches?
Not really. I think maybe, I don't know, I hit before the game, so maybe I'm just a little fresh, or I don't know, so maybe I should start hitting before every at-bat. But yeah, no, I don't know. I wish I had the answers, and then I would do that for the other at-bats as well.
Last couple questions from the 3rd row, Brad.
Max, a little factoid that was just passed along to me from tonight's game. Max Muncy is the second player in postseason history to go 1-for-1 with a home run and 3 walks. The other was Babe Ruth, the 1926 World Series. How many times have you been compared to Babe Ruth in your career?
Besides now? Never.
How cool is it to be in a situation in the postseason where those kind of things come up and come through like that?
That's something that's cool regardless of the situation. If it's just a regular season game, that's something that's really cool to me. But to have that happen in a postseason game, even more special.
Final question from the left here.
You guys set a club record for home runs during the regular season, relied pretty heavily on the long ball. There's kind of a notion that you can't rely too heavily on home runs in the postseason. Do you guys believe in that? Is tonight maybe proof otherwise?
I never heard of that notion, but the postseason, you're facing some of the best pitchers, and good pitchers usually don't give up home runs. So you gotta grind out at bats, and I think we do a great job of that. And hit with runners on base, get the guy over, situational hitting, all plays a part of it. But I mean, sometimes a home run does the job. So I don't know what to tell you.
To me, I don't really feel like there's anyone on this team that's going up there trying to hit a home run. It's just the result of us having a good approach and good at-bats. You know, I feel like a lot of the home runs we've had have come off of long at-bats, working the counts, and wearing the pitcher down. So, but again, I don't feel like we're trying to hit a home run. It's just the result of a good approach.